not be approving any formal business because we have a lack of a quorum. But if we get a quorum, we will take action.
Sounds good. Okay, so should we go through the agenda?
Will we have to go through it again next time anyway to approve everything?
We probably will, so we might as well skip what we don't, can't take action on. Do you just want to skip to president report?
Stephen's meeting might be shorter than mine.
I have a lot of commentary tonight. Okay, so we'll move ahead to item number 7 on the agenda, the president's report. And short and sweet, I actually do have nothing to report this month other than Happy New Year. So with that, we can move on to item number 8, I believe, the library director report. We're just going to talk informational.
Yep, so just an update sort of on the health and well-being of the library. We've had 2 positive cases in the last month. No close contacts. We've got a couple of people whose daycare is closed. So a couple of people out. We have, I believe I sent an email detailing this to the board, but we are training everybody who could be in charge of the building when we don't have enough staff to be open, how to close. I do fully expect that we're going to have some days where we're going to have to close early because we don't have enough people to run the building. We've had very few people on staff that have had this virus yet, so we've got a lot of people sort of on the potential list. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. We have upgraded everybody's masks. We're doing everything we can. Yeah, so I expected it to be terrible last weekend, and then all this weekend it hasn't been that bad yet. So still feel like it's coming, but not quite yet. And I think everything else I'm going to report is going to come under a committee report. So.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy. We can move on then to item number 9 on the agenda, committee reports.
And so under strategic planning, 2 projects that are going to come to fruition here pretty quick. The print management system, we were hoping to install January 6th, but their installer got COVID. So we have pushed that off to the 25th. So hopefully next week we'll be installing that. So then patrons will be expected to pay with cash or credit before they actually print out the print jobs. Everybody is looking forward to that. I think it might be kind of a rough time to install it, depending on how staffing is looking. And there is certainly going to be a learning curve that is very steep for both patrons and staff. But overall, we're very happy to be getting it. The other project that is going to be happening is the display shelving that we're putting on the first floor in front of the holds. So we had ordered that steel shelving last year, and it is going to be delivered on February the 2nd, installed on the 3rd. We had the countertop manufacturer come out today to kind of talk about what our options are. I think we're going to have about a 2-week collapse. He'll come measure as soon as the shelving is installed, and then about 2 weeks out for manufacture of that. So we're just going to go with a laminate top and sides in a different, it's going to be a blue color. So it's going to, I hope, stand out a little bit from the other paint and fixtures in that area. But very excited. That was funded by the Friends, and it's money that we have kind of rolled over for several years now in order to get this project done. That is everything for strategic planning. Facilities. I don't have any good news here. The chiller that heats and cools the library, as you all know, has been having a lot of issues. We have had 1 meeting so far with Public Works, City Administrator, Finance Director to talk about sort of the situation. So we're currently in a situation where we have compressors, we have some small compressors, we have some large compressors. Both large compressors have already been replaced once. They were both under warranty in the 11 years that we've had it. One of them is completely shot right now. The other one, I think, is completely shot. It was kind of limping along for a long time, and now it's not doing that. So we are running the building on 4 small compressors. It's kind of a big building to be doing that. They are alarming every day. We have got managers on the weekends going down into the mechanical room to reset them. We've been doing fine. I'm real worried that the next couple of days are going to be really cold. We're running the system 24/7 because Kevin's worried that if we get down, we usually let the building cool down a little bit at night, and he's afraid if we do that, we won't get it back up to temperature ever. So we're doing that. We are having another meeting tomorrow with Public Works and the city administrator to start talking about doing an RFP to replace the entire system. The other option is to potentially replace one or both of those big compressors. That's $20,000 each. I feel like it's kind of a waste to put that into the system now. And then maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. The way the compressors were installed was faulty. So there are some compressors that will only heat and some compressors that will only cool. So there's not as much redundancy built into this as it should have been. The people that Kevin has had to come in and look at it have no idea why that would have been done. So there's a lot of issues that we're never going to really correct, but I think we know better next time. So this is, as I've told you, a public works project, not a library project, which is part of the reason we're having a meeting tomorrow, because I want to get Bill Balke as the director of public works. So we're going to kind of get him on board. And I think he can lead us or have one of his engineers lead us through the RFP process, because it's not something that we've had to do before. I believe it involves hiring an engineer to design a system, and then we get bids from different companies. Harker is the company that has been working on it, and they've got 2 different manufacturers that are interested in coming in. Kevin's worked with one of the systems before that was installed in, I think, one of the fire stations. And since it's much more accessible, part of the issue with the system we have now is that you just can't get to it. So it's all built into one box that you can't access. So there's no kind of tearing it apart to try to get to things. So yeah, there's just a lot of interesting things that are kind of playing into this that didn't. Yes, Toby.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Do you have a choice in this, or no? This is really out of your hands. As to
I wouldn't say about either replacing or fixing.
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely sitting at the table and having the conversation.
But the final decision is Public Works?
I think it'll be a group decision. I think Chad, the city administrator, is very involved in this as well. Okay. The good news here is that there is potentially funding for this through the council is going through a process right now. There's ARPA money that we've received. The city got almost $3 million in ARPA money. So that was I'm not going to remember what ARPA stands for. American Rescue Plan. But also there's a TID that's closing, so a taxing district that is closing up where Target and Hy-Vee are. And there's quite a bit of money coming out of that. So the council is working right now on a spending plan for all of that money. Looks like about $6 million. And they have kind of marked this as one of the potential projects. So that would be fantastic. I hope that works. I don't know. The council is going to have to go through a whole process, and I'm sure they've got a bunch of projects that they want to do. But this is definitely on the list. They are thinking about $400,000. So the other issue that we're looking at sort of with compressors and just replacement. So the compressors are going to take 10 weeks to arrive if we get those. So we would either need one at $20,000 or 2 at 40. Replacement of the chiller is probably, they said, I think 22 weeks to receive, but that doesn't include like the time to do the RFP, like the whole bid process. So I think we're probably going to be lucky. I don't think that this system that we have right now in either configuration can probably make it through next winter. I would kind of hate to try. So I think because of the ARPA TID money, it doesn't make any sense to put off replacing it and to spend $40,000 to hope that it works. The person that came in to look at it most recently looked at it and was like, I don't understand why you put large compressors in this, like it doesn't work. So since they've both already been replaced once, I feel like that's just kind of throwing money away. So I think it might be a real warm summer in here if we choose to go with replacement, but I think we can probably manage that. I think Kevin's biggest fear is that we have, a polar vortex and the pipes freeze because we don't have enough heating power. We're kind of getting to the end of winter, so I think that we're probably going to make it through winter okay. And I think we can be warm and be uncomfortable, and that might not be great, but at least it's not damaging to the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in favor of just replacing it. I think we would get 15 years out of this max if it was running in good shape, and we're at 11. So I don't think it's worth putting a lot of money into. But that's a discussion that we're having amongst that whole group.
Toby, did you have a concern around just the expense, or any concern in particular? Just curious, kind of where we sit in terms of the decisioning process.
Yeah, my concern was exactly what Wendy just talked about, that should this unit fail and pipes freeze, what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think when you're looking at a unit that normally has 15 years lifespan, and we're at 11 now, replacing them with just parts doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is if February turns out to just be like an awful sub-zero month, all this RFP stuff takes, even just like you said, parts and everything.
Yeah.
What is the plan if everything fails?
Kevin has been looking into is there portable heating? We've done that for cooling over at City Hall when their chillers failed. So I know you can bring in big cooling systems. I think you can kind of do that with heating. I think you have to take windows out because you have to vent it. So I think it would be an enormous to do. Really fingers crossed that that's not going to be the case. We are running right now okay. So I think we're going to be 7 degrees tomorrow, and I don't expect problems. My office has been 68, 70 degrees throughout this. So as long as we can keep the little compressors going, which Kevin is working on all the time, it seems like, I think we can make it.
Good.
So that's not good news, and I'm sorry. But I think we're on the path to getting it fixed. So
I'm pretty sure Toby just asked the question to extend the meeting and get us past 10. So now she maintains the early
her championship status. All right, that's all I have for facilities. Oh no, that's not true. Doors are broken again. The vestibule door closer is completely shot, and they have some on order, but they are back ordered. So if you come into the library, you'll notice that door has been propped open, which is not doing anything for the temperature of the front of the building, but the closer, you can't disconnect it because people throw themselves against that door and fall through it. So we are doing the best we can, and we are on the list to get one of the closers as soon as it gets here. All right, that's everything I have for facilities. Moving on to personnel. The outreach librarian position has been posted. We posted it nationally, so we advertised it in the American Library Association's website and journal. So we are very hopeful. As I have said, I don't know what outreach is going to look like this summer, depending on how the virus goes. It might be normal outreach. It might be more of a dropping off some take-home craft kits. We'll see. But we will hopefully have someone doing something.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for personnel.
All right. Item number 10, announcements. Next library board meeting is 1 month from today, February 16th. We'll stick with Zoom.
Yep.
And we can move on to item number 11, but I still think that I need a motion to adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn.
And a second.
I can second.
Thank you, Brock. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay. We held a
Excellent.
meeting.
Stephen, I'm going to email you